All right, good afternoon, everyone. Kindly confirm you can hear me by sending your reactions. Hello, it's 2:30. Can you hear me? All right. Thank you very much for being here. Modern Mobile again. We will start with the first item on the agenda, even though we're not many, but we prioritize punctuality, and 2:30 is 2:30 at USF. The co-convener, please go ahead. Thank you. It looks like the is still getting. Scholar Tawheed, are you with us? All right, since the co-convener is unable to start, I think I'll start on his behalf. So today's topic, unlocking opportunities beyond the classroom, is one thing each and every one of us here should actually learn, because at USF, we are all about being well-rounded. Well-roundedness means in whatever aspect people talk about, you have an extent of excellence. All of us are here because we're scholars, so we all have that academic excellence, but then we can still do more, right? So that is why we're striving for excellence outside the classroom as well. When we talk about fellowships, volunteer, internships, all of those qualify as opportunities. So how can we get them? How can we maximize our days as undergraduate students? You're in your second year, or you're in your fifth year, or your final year, or in between. Strategy is both in your undergraduate degree and your postgraduate degree as well, for those that wish to pursue a postgraduate degree. And today's facilitator said to have her. Part of the things she was able to achieve this degree was landing 2 international offers. We're not talking about offers in Nigeria, 2 international offers. How amazing is that? And what's great to hear something that the mouth of the owner itself. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
I'm already. So go. Hello.
Scholar Sahid, please go ahead.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, esteemed scholars. My name is Abdul Hafiz. I'm a final medical student from the Department of Medicine and Surgery. I'm the co-convener of this prestigious forum. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to today's webinar, where we'll be discussing key strategies for personal and academic growth. Sometimes success extends beyond good grades. Why academic excellence is important? It is not the sole determinant of future success. Academic excellence, your distinction, though it has a lot to do in your future endeavor, but it's not the sole determinant. Employers and global institutions seek well-rounded individuals with leadership experiences, critical thinking skills, and hands-on exposure, engaging in extracurricular activities, volunteering, research, and internship not only enhances your knowledge, but also sets you apart in competitive spaces. I encourage every one of us to actively seek opportunities that will complement our academic achievement. As we are chasing our dream to have distinction, as we are chasing our dream to become a first class graduate, we should be seeking for opportunities that will complement our academic achievement. So, as we listen to our guest speaker today, let us take note of the valuable lesson that can help us grow, not just as scholars, but as future leaders in our respective discipline. Once again, welcome, and I look forward to an enlightening session ahead. Thank you all.
Thank
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting edition of the University Scholars Forum webinar series. Today, we are in the second webinar of the cohort, which is webinar 4.2, and we are excited to have everyone here along with us for the topic from studentship to scholarship, exploring opportunities beyond the classroom. So for this part of the session, I will be engaging with all you participants. I will reflect on past webinars and I will discuss expectations for today's sessions. So starting with reflecting on past webinars, from your own end as participants, what can you say about, although it's only one webinar that I've conducted, so what can you say about our past webinars, and have you implemented what you have learned, or have you had any experience that you can relate to our past webinar, or what can you say about our past webinar? I think I'll be selecting randomly, so if I select you, please you mention your full name, your class, your department, and you have the floor to speak. So please, if I select you, endeavor to speak up. I will go with Scholar. Wow, my screen is just changing. We're having numerous participants joining the meeting. So I will go with Scholar Oje Oye. Sorry, your name came first. Scholar Oje Oye. If I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Actually, this is
You are welcome, but please, if you can speak clearly. Okay, this is your first webinar. Alright, you didn't attend the last webinar, right? Okay, that's fine. But please make sure you attend all the webinars as they are equally important. Okay. Please, the next person should not tell me this is first webinar.
You should ask them their expectations instead. If this is their first webinar, they can still contribute. So what are their expectations for today's webinar? Yeah, that should do as well.
Okay, so Scholar Scholar Lukman. Let's go with Scholar Lukman. Scholar Lukman, are you with us, please? Wow, our scholars are not turning up. Scholar Lukman, are you with us? Alright, let's go with Scholar Khadija for a female now. Scholar Khadija with the glasses. Okay, if you want to speak, raise up your hand. Does anybody want to have anything to say? Okay, Scholar co-convener, sir, you have your hand raised.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. The last one of the key features that I learned that I put to my basic lens the speaker, he highlighted something. He said that if you happen to find yourself in any course, whether it is the course you choose or the course choose you just have to identify your strengths and weakness. What is your strength? What is your weakness? So where we had Scholar Ahmed conception. So a scholar who applied for MBS, but he was given MLS. So fortunately for him, when he got to 400 level, he later developed some interest in that MLS and is doing well. So based on identification of your strengths and your weakness, I would like to use myself as a typical example for that kind of scenario. I remember when the first time I applied to UDUS, I was given biochemistry. So I accepted the admission. I started with 100 level. So I noticed that I understand my strengths and I realized my weakness. I knew that I have been trying to study MBBS, so which propelled me to further attempted for jump. So I wrote another jump. Unfortunately, I was given MBBS. So now I'm in 400 level. So which means we have two contrasting example from USF members. We have one that didn't come back for jump. He continued with the course and he later developed some interest and he has been useful to the society. Like me, I went back. I wrote another jump to pursue my dream course. And I'm doing fine in my discipline. So you just have to understand your strengths and your weakness to know which of the two you have to do or to follow. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So I think moving on to the next webinar for the expectations, I believe on the topic we'll be learning how to land opportunities, right? Landing opportunities beyond the classroom, whether it's scholarships, internships, so I believe everybody ready to receive more insightful lessons we'll be getting from our facilitator. And I think I'll hand over now to the moderator for the rest of the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Scholar Baka Sadiq, for that engaging session. Without wasting much of our time, we'll go ahead to we'll go ahead to reading our facilitators. We'll go ahead to introducing our facilitator, and this will be done by Scholar Grace Mirekweweze. You have the floor.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes, ma'am, loud and clear. You are.
I'll be introducing our facilitator to be Oluwafunmilayo Odusanwo, who is a financial analyst at World Bank Treasury and a graduate of University of Lagos with a first class in finance. She was a top student in her cohort and consistently excelled academically, maintaining a CGPA of 4.75 above throughout her undergraduate years. Oluwafunmilayo's professional journey includes transformative internships such as serving as the finance officer at Nigerian Youth SDGs Network, working as the research intern at Busara Center for Behavioral Economics, Financial Inclusion.
Hello, Scholar Grace. Are you with us? Scholar Grace. Am I the only one who can't hear her?
I think the network is bad.
You are not the only one. We are also not hearing you.
All right, if that's the case, I think our facilitator deserves better. So I will go ahead and read her citation instead. What do you think? All right, let
Yes,
me go
please go
ahead.
ahead.
It's almost here.
That's fine.
4
That's
points
fine.
out of 4 points.
Okay. I think it's back.
Scholar Grace, we cannot hear you clearly. Please let me read her citation. Scholar Grace,
Hello, Scholar Fatima. I'm here.
we lost you. Are you back now? Your network was a bit poor, so we didn't hear most of what you were saying.
All right, I'm back now. Should I
All
read
right.
it or do you want to take it?
All right, please go ahead. You sound better now. Thank you. All right, I will go ahead and read it. They said they didn't hear most of the citation that was being read. So our facilitator for the day is Mrs. Oluwafunmilayo Odusanwo. She is a financial analyst at the World Bank Treasury and a graduate of the University of Lagos with a first class in finance. She was the top student in her cohort and consistently excelled academically, maintaining a GPA of 4.7 and above throughout her includes transformative internships such as serving as a finance officer at Nigeria Youth SDGs Network, working as a research intern at Busara Center for Behavioral Economics Financial Inclusion Team, interning in investment management at Asset and Resource Management Company, AMCO, and securing a summer internship at the World Bank Treasury. So that was one of the international offers she landed. Her dedication to professional development is evident in her certifications, including becoming a qualified chartered accountant, completing the CFA Investment Foundations, and earning a financial modeling certification from FMVA. She is currently pursuing the CFA Charter to deepen her expertise. She is also a recipient of multiple awards, including recognition as the best graduating student, Department of Finance, University of Lagos. She is an ICANN prize winner, and Oluwafunmilayo was also one of the only 2 students selected for the prestigious Erasmus Study Abroad program, where she achieved a perfect 4.0 over 4.0 GPA, and with a strong drive for continuous learning, leadership, and empowering others, Oluwafunmilayo is committed to inspiring others on how to unlock opportunities beyond the traditional classroom setting. So that is all about our facilitator, and we are more than excited to have her on board with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, convener, for reading such a wonderful citation of our facilitator. I think now that we've all had the citation, we know that our facilitator is not just anyone. She's among the best of the best. And Ma, we are honored to have you here today. The floor is yours. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Please.
Convener, please kindly confirm if she's on the call.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Apologies, I'm trying to join with my own account, but I don't know what's going on today. Like, I'm I'm sure it is so absurd seeing Yinka Emmanuel and Oluwafunmilayo is invited to the call. So I'm still trying to join with my account, but it doesn't seem to be working. So I think not to keep you guys waiting, I'll just share my presentation and just continue using this account if you guys don't mind. Is
It's
there
very
a way to, is there a way to rename myself? I can't seem to.
okay. As long as you're here with
What did you say?
it's okay, ma'am. As long as you're here with us, it doesn't matter what account you're using.
No problem. So, thank you so much. Even though when you were reading my profile, I was just trying to figure out to join with my own account. Thank you so much for inviting me for this session. I think you guys are doing an amazing work because it is. I think this is what you guys can do for yourself actually. Coming up with initiatives like this to help other students because we don't only need the knowledge that we know, we need all that we can borrow. So you guys coming together, sharing initiatives, bringing people, it's something that is very, very commendable. And also thank you to Fatima that I'm communicating with. I know I stressed her a bit, but but thank you. Yeah, so I'm just going to go on to share my presentation. And please confirm if you can see my screen on the chat. I'm going to share it now. Just give me a minute. Can you guys see my presentation?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me just put it on the presentation mode. So the topic for today is unlocking opportunities outside of the classroom. And I am so excited to be speaking about this topic because I would say I am somebody who, because I've been able to unlock opportunities outside of the classroom, because I did not limit myself to the four walls of the classroom, I was able to benefit a lot. Given that even before grad, I was able to get a job outside of Nigeria. So I am privileged to be speaking to you today, and I hope by sharing my presentation, sharing my story in between, you guys will be inspired and you guys will be motivated to do more outside of just maybe trying to make a good grade or probably trying to hone your skills and forgetting about making a good grade. So I'd like to ask if you guys can put it in the chat box. Would you rather graduate with a first class, a good CGPA, or you would rather graduate with a second class or par? You have skill sets and you have so many skill sets. Which would you rather be? Would you rather be person A who graduates with a first class, no skill set, or you rather be person B who graduates with a second class or par, but the person has skill sets in the sense that, oh, maybe the person has technical skills in programming, Excel, and all of those things. So I'm expecting your responses in the chat box. Would you rather be person A or person B? Okay, interesting responses. Trying to see the chat box. Person B. Okay, obviously person B. Good. So if I'm to give you my own answer, I'll say I'll be neither of them because neither option is optimal. As much as you feel like, as much as everybody will say, oh, I would rather be person B, in the sense that, oh, this person graduated with a second class upper, which they will tell you is a fairly good grade, right? And this person has the skill set, meaning, oh, this person is job ready and all of that. I'm going to say that the optimal result is to achieve both. And I'm a living testimony of somebody who has achieved both. So you don't have to limit yourself to being person B, not making a good grade because you think, oh, achieving having the skill set is more important than your grades. And you should not also be person A thinking, oh, everything is just about getting an A. Everything is just about making the first class or making the highest grade, and you should not try to personally develop yourself in between. So my response to that question would be, I'll be somebody that I will chase the good grade, and I will also try to achieve the skills, all my skills, be job ready in between. So let's get straight into my presentation. They already read my profile, but just a bit about my journey in Unilag. When I entered Unilag in 100 level, I was just that clueless person. In fact, the reason why I chose Unilag was because I wanted to improve on. I've seen Unilag students and I've seen people from other universities, some other universities, and I just see this unique thing about Unilag students in the sense that, oh, Unilag students are very, very bold. And I was, as somebody who was timid, I felt, oh, if I go to Unilag, I'm going to graduate and I'm going to finish and I'm going to be somebody that is bold, somebody that can speak in public and all of that. So that was one of the main reasons why I chose Unilag. So outside of that, I don't think when I was in 100 level, I was particular about making a first class. No. In fact, I didn't even see myself as being top student. And I didn't see myself as even achieving half of what I achieved while in Unilag. I think the whole mindset change started in 100 level when you see people, your seniors, you see people go on to, while in school, they're already making money, thousands of naira. And while in school, some people are working and coming to class all suited or coming to class in their corporate wears. And you're just like, what am I doing? What are they doing I'm not doing? So that was like the first thing that made me actually think about what more can I do to actually be that student who is not just about achieving an excellence grade, but also I'm developing myself, I'm making money, I am doing something to be job ready. So, and thankfully, I was able to do a lot of things while in school. And even though I was able to do all of these things, I was still able to graduate as the top student in my class. I did not let the fact that I did over 5 jobs while in school, I did not let that get into my head to say, oh, GPA doesn't matter, or it doesn't matter if I graduate with a 4.0. I was chasing the balance. So now, to why this conversation is important, why we're discussing about unlocking opportunities outside of the classroom. Today's world, and what you guys must have seen also, requires you to be extraordinary. You can't just come to school and you are just focused on school, your skills, you're not trying to prepare for the world of work, and you're just all about coming to the classroom and maybe trying to achieve a first. It requires people that are extraordinary. The Nigeria of today, I'm sure if I ask you guys about the unemployment rate, if you go online, you probably see a small percentage. But we ourselves, we know that the unemployment rate is very, very high. And even though there are a few jobs, I read a report this weekend that there are jobs, even though there are not so many jobs, there are jobs, but there are not people who are qualified for those jobs. Like graduates of today are not even qualified for the jobs that are available. And if you look at it, it is true. You will see some graduates that even you as undergraduates, you will still feel like you are better than this person in composure, in knowledge, in every area. And it's not supposed to be so. As a graduate, you should be somebody that when you leave the 4 walls of the classroom, you are armed with knowledge that when you're going out in the world, you're going to be exceptional, whether you get a job, whether you can even be an employer of other people. But one thing I have realized is most of us, we just want to do the ordinary. We just want to come to school and probably just graduate. Or we just want to come to school and probably just you're not thinking about how can I add value to my community. You're not thinking about how can I add, before even community, how can I add value to myself? How can I add value to my community? If I finish school, how do I want to add value to the world? We limit ourselves to just the ordinary, what everybody else achieves. And that was one thing that probably stood out about me. I never wanted to be just that person that would just be a first class student. I wanted to be much more. And that decision is important because you don't want to settle for the ordinary. Now, picture this. You graduate and then you're looking for graduate training rules. And you're looking for graduate training rules. There's somebody that has my profile. And by my profile, I said the person graduated with a first class. The person has done professional courses, has done HICAN, has done CFA, which is doing CFA, which is the top finance professional course actually. The person has worked in so many places while in school. And you people actually graduated together. And you are an employer. Who you employ? Definitely me, somebody with my profile, right? So at the end of the day, even you, if you put yourself in the position of employers, or if you put yourself in the position of people you want to give you opportunity, you would not settle for the ordinary. You will want more. And that is why, as a student, you should not settle for the ordinary. While in school, as much as I am a big advocate of make the best grade possible, I am still an advocate of try to develop yourself in between. Now, the second thing is real success comes from going beyond the basics. Look at the top people you know today. And what do you know them for? It is because they achieved something, they did something exceptional. And that is why you know them. That is why the world is crazy about them. Number third point, the third point why this is important is you're competing globally. And I think this is one of the mistakes we make. One of the mistakes we make is we see ourselves and we confine our success to just a small space. We confine ourselves to Nigeria, or we confine ourselves to sorry, I don't know what state you guys are in, but love to but you should see yourself not just outside of your school, not just outside of that state your school is in, not just outside of Nigeria, but outside, like you're doing something exceptional all around the world. So you should know that you're competing globally. And most times, because we see ourselves as local champions, we compare ourselves or we try to match up with other local champions, when you should be looking at what students in other regions are doing and they are exceptional and they are doing exceptionally well with, so that you can match up. Now, just a quick story about a quick backstory. When I applied for the World Bank internship and got it, I felt an imposter syndrome. If you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's basically that feeling of you are not good enough. Maybe you should not have even been selected. Of course, I'll feel it because all my life, I've lived my whole life in Nigeria. In a way, even though I was seeing myself globally, even though I was seeing myself and I was preparing myself to compete globally, this is still my first time being in a global space. So in a way, I felt that imposter syndrome of the fact that really people to these students that are coming from Ivy League schools, from Harvard, from Stanford, from different schools in the world, and I'm just coming from Unilag. But one thing that helped me was the fact that I did not compete locally. I was competing globally. I was preparing myself to compete globally. I was taking courses that maybe an undergraduate would usually not take. I was taking courses. I was going to YouTube to learn things. I was good in Excel. I was good in Power BI and all of those things. I was good in Microsoft, in PowerPoint. I was preparing myself for those skills that would make an employer, a global employer, choose me. And the fourth reason why this conversation is important is the world demands more. The world demands more from you and I. Nigeria demands more. If I ask you now, do you think you're somebody that or you will be fit to be a minister tomorrow and do something that is exceptional. I don't. Some of us don't see ourselves in that way. Do you think you have the knowledge to even say, oh, if they give you a position of local, or maybe a position of maybe youth coordinator in your local government, what would you do? Do you even have the knowledge or the initiative to bring different things that will impact people? Even for me, I don't think so. So what am I trying to say basically? The world able to do your own bit to contribute to the success of your school, the success of Nigeria, the success of the world, basically. And how do you do that contribute? And they cannot teach you everything in the classroom. So that brings to my fourth point, which says when you learn inside the classroom, it won't be enough. To stand out, you need real world experience. The fact that opportunities will find you. You have to find it. You don't wait for a chance to come. If not, you'll be left behind. You have to constantly think about, oh, I'm studying medicine and surgery. What are the opportunities available for me? Is there an opportunity to travel abroad? Probably just go on LinkedIn, connect with medical doctors, look at their profiles, look at the things that they've done that you don't know about. Try to read about them. You just don't know. That might be your first way of learning about an opportunity. One thing I usually do is people in my field that are finance, that are finance professionals. When I see somebody and I feel like, oh, this person is working at maybe African Development Bank, I open the person's profile. I check the person's profile. What am I trying to check? I'm trying to check the person's journey. What school did this person go to? Oh, did she go to a school abroad or she went to a school in Nigeria? Oh, she went to a school in Nigeria. How did this person make it to African Development Bank? I checked the person's journey. Oh, this person did ICANN. Maybe that was one thing that stood out in an application. Oh, this person went to this conference. Oh, maybe that's one thing that stood out in application. I check about those things. I check about, am I eligible to do those things? Because basically, the profiles that employers need are just exceptional profiles. And if you learn about those things that maybe catches employers' eyes and you do them, then that means when you're applying for a job and you have those things on your resume, you definitely get it, right? So opportunities won't find you. You have to find opportunities. You find opportunities by going online to search about them, search about opportunity. Have you ever went on Google to type, oh, opportunities in finance, opportunities in psychology, whatever course you're studying, what are the opportunities there? Not just in Nigeria, but global. Some of us are even studying courses that you're not even fit for Nigeria. You're fit for the world, in the sense that there's no space to practice that particular profession in Nigeria. And just knowing about it early for this opportunity and this particular course or this particular profession I've chosen, even though maybe there are a few opportunities to do it in Nigeria, but there are so much more opportunities to do it outside of Nigeria. You start to prepare for it. But if you don't know about it, there's no way you can prepare for it. So like I said, this conversation is important because you should not settle for the ordinary. Real success comes from going beyond the basics, and you should not see yourself as a local champion. See yourself as somebody that will be out there in the world someday. And the world demands more, meaning you also should try as much as possible to contribute your own bits, to be an expert in your field. If you are a doctor, if you're a medical doctor, I think I heard somebody introducing himself as saying he was studying medicine or something like that. So the world demands more. As a doctor, you should be very, very knowledgeable. You should try to do more personally to be able to be an expert in your profession, because you are dealing with people's life. If you are a finance person or you're an accountant, you should also be an expert in your field because you are dealing with people's money. And if you lose money, you're an investment professional, investment analyst, and you invest somebody's money and then the investment is bad because of your lack of technical knowledge, and the person loses money, then that means you've not contributed your own bit. You've not added value. In fact, you've diminished the value. To my next slide, strategies for unlocking opportunities outside of the classroom. I would say it's just one thing, and that thing is self-learning. And that thing is self-learning. In the aspect of self-learning, you're taking ownership of your growth. So I would say it's just one thing, which is self-learning. And I mentioned before that you can't learn everything outside of the classroom. Your lecturers will try. Some lecturers will try to teach you as much as they can, try to expose you to as much as they can, but they can't teach you everything. Learning doesn't stop. And you have to take ownership of your learning. You don't have to wait till somebody comes up with a tutorial or before a lecturer comes to your class before you ask questions. You have smartphones. You can always go online. Thank God for a lot of resources. There's YouTube. I don't think there's anything that your lecturer is teaching you in class that somebody has not taught on YouTube. You can go on YouTube to try to learn about what the lecturer has just taught you. So one thing I always do is while I was in school, I'm somebody that I attended a few tutorials, but they were not paid tutorials. And if I'm to count, I don't think I attended throughout my whole stay in school. I don't think I attended more than 4 tutorials. If there's something I don't understand that the lecturer has taught, I go ahead to search for other resources that can help me learn about them. I go on YouTube to try to see if I can learn about it on YouTube. So you can't learn everything in class. And that person you want to go and meet in tutorial, that person must have also taken an initiative to go and learn that thing. Maybe on YouTube, online, maybe has somebody who is an expert in the field and call the person to explain that concept to him or her. Why are you not the person actually sourcing for that information? Why are you a receiver of the information instead of you being the person who is sourcing for the information? You can't learn everything in class. And outside of university, I don't think you have opportunity to be having tutorials the way you do I'm not trying to, of course, going for tutorials is not bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm trying to say that you can't continue to do that. On the job, when you get a job, if you have a challenge, you will not wait for somebody to come up with a tutorial for you to go and sit down and attend. You have to figure it out. You have to self-learn. Now, number 2 is you need to catch up. And catch up in the sense that when I say you mean to catch up, you should not rely on what you are taught. Now there's a gap. You are just a 200 level student. There's a 400 level student that has more knowledge. You need to try to catch up. Don't limit yourself. That gives you the chance to earn money. But there are things that gives you the chance to learn more. So as maybe a best student in your class right now, you might get into a competition and you'll be the least knowledgeable person in that competition. You need to catch up. You want yourself to be in spaces that will challenge you. Spaces where you will enter and you feel like you know nothing. But you should be to leave those space somebody that knows a lot of. And how do you leave that space as somebody that knows a lot of things? By you trying to catch up, by you trying to match people's knowledge. Number 3 is still under self-learning is your degree is not enough. What you're taught in school is not enough. you need to do some other things by the side. If you are a finance person, I'm going to be talking because I'm a finance person, so I don't know. Finance person, for example, and you're graduating, you don't know how to use Excel, you don't know how to use PowerPoint, you don't know you cannot even fully explain a balance sheet, you don't know a bit on financial modeling, then it's more like you're a joke. So your degree is not enough. There are so many other things that ties into you saying you have a bachelor's in a particular course. So as you're graduating, you want to graduate as a 360-degree graduate, as a graduate you want to graduate as an all-round graduate. You have the academic excellence, you have the skills, you have the soft skills, you have other things you've done in terms of extracurriculars and personal projects. This, for example, is a form of extracurricular activity. I mean, so as you're graduating, you want to ensure that as you're receiving your certificate and the employers will be looking for you, or you're somebody that will go out there and set up your own business that will be thriving. I did an interview probably back in 2023 or 2022 with Landmark Africa, and I didn't get the job, not because they didn't like me, but because I was staying far away. I think it was that period where there was strike. I was staying in Korea and the job was on the island. So if I'm going to be going to job, it will be taking me like over 2 hours to get to job because of Lagos traffic. But do you know that I have this HR's number? And while I was in school, each time I post something on my WhatsApp, why is he asking that question? They are waiting to employ me. Now, this is not about me bragging. This is just about me showing you that if you're somebody that you was seen to be a 360-degree graduate, to be somebody that would add value, you have the skill set to add value. Employers will be the ones to look for you. And if they are not the ones to look for you, your chances of getting it is almost 100%. Number 4 point about self-learning is the fact that everything you need is online. You are finding a course hard in school. You don't know a particular topic. Go on YouTube and search for it. Cool, you want to learn Excel, but you don't know where to learn it. Go online and type, where can I learn Excel? There are so many resources on YouTube, so many videos on YouTube. There's LinkedIn Learning. Use them wisely. These things, we have them. We have it in our faces. It's just more like somebody having food on the table, but still waiting for somebody to come and hold the spoon for him and feed him the food. These things are at your disposal, and you just have to use them wisely and to your advantage. Also, take ownership of your growth. I've said some of these things. Nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody is going to do it for you. One, to push yourself. You have to be the one to push yourself to do more. Nobody is going to hand you success. Another thing is waiting for feedback is weak, in the sense that you should not wait for people to tell you what to do or what you are doing wrongly or what you're not doing or what you're doing rightly. You should be the one to ask people. Oh, reach out to the leaders of this initiative and ask them things. How can you contribute? How is even if you're a leader, ask other leaders, how are you contributing so far? What are the things you can improve on? And don't let them be the ones to come to you and to actually tell you what to do. Sorry, can you wait? Turn it off. Another thing I'm going to say is comfort is your enemy. Some of us, we feel, oh, there's no time. Like, I know that I'm supposed to learn Excel. I know that I'm supposed to improve on my personal skills and all of those things, but I don't have time. I go to school and this course is stressing me. In fact, I'm on 4.0. I'm trying to boost my CGPA and all of those things. But I'm going to say comfort is your enemy. I remember at some point in school, I was doing 2 jobs. I was barely sleeping because I was doing 2 jobs. Thankfully, both of them were remote. And I still had to attend classes. I still had to read for exams. I still had to read for tests. Was I comfortable at those moments? Was I comfortable? No, I wasn't. But I have to make myself feel uncomfortable because I want to do the extraordinary. Some of us, in fact, we have so much time than people that probably are trying to squeeze out time to do stuff. We have so much time because most of us will go to class. In fact, we'll go to class maybe 1 hour before the. I'm not trying to say that these things are bad, but I'm just trying to say there should be a limit. And when you're trying to achieve something, you should understand that you have to make sacrifices. Some of us would go to class very, very early just because we want to take pictures with our friends. You waste like 1 hour before the class, and then after the class too, you waste another 1 hour because you're catching up with people. You're catching up with people. I'm not saying catching up with people is bad, but there should be a limit. It should not be something that will happen over and over every day. Because that 2 hours, that precious 2 hours, could have been channeled to another thing. Some of us, we get back from class and all we do is lie down on our bed and press our phones. That time can be channeled to you learning stuff online. You don't read what you've been taught. Them more than that is about this story has taught me in class. Not happen on this. With the session so far, I think with the session so far, you have the potential of doing things. You think you have the potential of trying to do more things than you're doing right now? What are those things you've learned from this session so far? I'm in the chat box trying to see your responses. What are those skills you're trying to improve on? Some responses, yes. To be productively multi-engaged. Nice. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm just going to prove specifically. Yes. Self-learning is so very much important, is Chisom. So I'm just going to go back. The 360 degree graduate, which was why, and because of this slide, is why I asked you the first question about the fact that would you rather graduate with the second class and you have skill sets, or you graduate with the first class and not have skill set? And most of you chose second class with skill sets, which is more like the good option in those two, but that's not the optimal option. Like I said, you can be an all-round student and get the academic excellence, you can still get the good grades, and you can get several opportunities while in school. But the reason why I came up with this slide, is because I know that most of you would choose the second option, which is graduate with the second class of that, because grades don't really matter, right? And that's why I came up with this slide. Good grades are not enough, of course. like you guys must have thought about when choosing option B. Good grades are not enough, but they matter. Without academic excellence, you are locked out of the best scholarships, programs, and opportunities. You want best chances, right? You need best grades. Now, back to my journey. There was this internship I did, and while we were doing our onboarding, they were asking us to introduce yourself, state whether you're a first class or a second class student, and all of that. And everybody that was selected, we were about 23 for that program, were all on first class. And I asked myself, is it that there are no second class students who would have not done better than us, or who probably do not have like good profiles than us or something? I didn't study masters in economics, and in core courses like microeconomics, econometrics, you are having a C. Of course, you get into a school, but it might not be the top schools. And that's why I said you are locked out of the best scholarships, programs, and opportunities. In fact, I was checking about grad school because I'm considering grad school soon. I'm considering probably an MBA or a master's soon. And I was checking one of the Ivy League schools. I'm talking about the likes of Harvard, the likes of Columbia, the likes of Stanford, even though Stanford is not classified as an Ivy League, but Stanford is also a very good school. And I was checking the profile of people who have gotten into the programs I want to get to. And I tell myself, like these people have very great profile that even me, that you people will feel like, oh, Fumi has a great profile. Even me, I'm like, I still have to do more. And if you look at what most of similar profile, of course, they did not do similar courses, they did not do similar internships, but they have similar profiles. One thing that stands out is the fact that they're exceptional. And number two is top performance gets attention. If you're not excelling academically, you are not even in the race for funding or competitive programs. Yes. Because if you're somebody that you also want to give scholarship to people, you want to give scholarship to people who are excelling academically. If you are an employer, you want to employ that person that has skill sets, but is also excelled academically. Because academic excellence is an indicator that you are somebody that is determined and you're somebody that you have knowledge of that particular field. So without excellence, you are invincible. If I ask you people to submit your CV to me, and probably I just want to choose top 10 or people to give gifts. Once I see your CV and I see that, oh, this person has maybe 2.0 over 5.0, and this person's CV is not even looking great, I will never look at the rest of the details, even if they are making sense. But if the first thing I'm seeing on your CV is 4.9 over 5.0, it will catch my eyes. I'll be able to look at it and say, okay, let me see. Oh, this person has not even had work experience. But for this person to have actually gotten a 4.9, this person has potential. This person is somebody that is teachable. This person is somebody that can learn. If I see that you have like most of the profiles I've been seeing is 4.5, 4.8, 4.9, and I see your CV and I'm saying 3.0, I'll not even look at the rest of the details because I don't even have time. So academic success is not just an option. It is a key to being noticed. To this question, share school na scam? Most people will tell you school is a scam. Just focus on making money. Focus on learning tech skills and make money. But you can achieve. I'm not saying that. I'm not learn a skill or make money in school. I'm somebody that is coming to tell you that you can be all round. And because I have been able to achieve that too, I worked 5 jobs, in fact, more than 5 while in school. I did ICANN. I don't know if you guys know about ICANN, but it's a program that is time demanding. I did CFA level 1. In fact, last year, I graduated last year. I'm just a recent graduate. But last year was a very stressful year for me. I started, February was my CFA exam, and I've been preparing for this exam for like 5 months before then. That same February was my school exam. My school exam ended March. The next day, I had to travel to Istanbul for an exchange program. I got to Istanbul, and because the fact that we resumed the semester late in Istanbul, it was almost time for midterms. Like, I can't remember the name we call it, but more like midterm exams. And then I did that. I did school exam. I did Istanbul school exam. I still had to come back to do school exam and write my project. But I didn't let all of that, the fact that I have so many engagements, I still prioritized academic excellence, and I was still able to graduate as the best graduating student in my department. So it depends on your mindset, how you manage your time, and you prioritizing. You know that as much as you traveling, you trying to do other things, as much as those are important, your grades are also important. And this phrase, share school and scam, this is people that are successful and maybe they did not go to school. But I've also seen people that have gone to school and are successful. So why can't you be that person that has both instead of just being one? Now, I mentioned something about the fact that there were programs I applied for I mentioned my internship, and everybody on that internship were first-class students. It was an undergraduate internship, and everybody on that internship were first-class students. Now, I'm going to show you some of the programs I've seen of recent that they only hire top students, first-class students. So this is IMF RAP program. IMF is International Monetary Fund, just like the World Bank. Not exactly like the World Bank. They have different mandates, but it's also like the development finance institution. And the minimum qualification for this program is 3.5/4. In Nigeria, that's like 4.5/5. And what does this mean? Even if you have all the skill sets in this world, even if that job that they want to hire for is very simple and something that you've done before and something that is only small for you, you cannot apply because you don't even meet the minimum requirements of 3.5/4. This is another one. Africa Finance Corporation Graduate Training Program. And what do you guys see? A first-class degree. Meaning, even if you have second class and you have all the knowledge in this world, you have all the skill sets, in fact, you are the best in finance when it comes to speaking about finance and all, you cannot apply because even if you apply, they will not even call you for an interview because their minimum requirement is a first-class degree. This is another one. ERM Young Talent Program. You have to be on track for a first class or a 2-1 degree. Meaning you have to be one of the best. In as much as this program says first class or 2-1 degree, trust me, they will prioritize first class students. This is another one. MTN scholarship, MTN Foundation scholarship. You have to be on a 3.5 or on a first class or second class upper. And trust me, they will prioritize people that are on first class because when we're talking about academic scholarship, I want to give you scholarship for you to fund your education. I want to give it to people that they are exceptional, but they don't have the money, and the fact that they don't have the capacity to pay their fees can affect their grades. So they would go for the top students and students that do well in the assessment exam. And this is like the last one. This is another scholarship. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is also requesting for a first class. So there are so many programs out there that if you limit yourself to just graduating with a second class upper and saying you have some skill sets, you will not even be eligible for. And these are very top programs. You will not even be eligible for. So why can't you be that graduate that you are all around? You have the very good grade and you also have that technical capabilities. Now I have to be fast because I think my time is. So developing habits for success. I was speaking to the chairman of inspection panel at the World Bank, and he said, Fumi is a Nigerian. He said, Fumi, one thing that has helped him to get to where he is today is not the fact that he feels like he's good. There are thousands of people in Nigeria that are also good. But one thing that has helped him is the fact that he desires success. You have to be able to see yourself in big spaces. If you want success, you say you want success. How badly do you want it? You say you want to get a good grade, but you're that person that cannot read overnight. That means you don't want it badly. You said you want to get a job, but you're somebody that you're waiting for people to send you, oh, there's a job opening in. You are not going online to say what are the vacancies in this particular state or in this particular location. You don't want it badly. So if you truly want success, you go out of your way to achieve it. The second one is mindset. Some of us don't even have the mindset that some of us have self-limiting beliefs. I'm not so knowledgeable. I'm not so good. So I don't think I can. Even if I apply, I don't think they will select me. Even if I try to study, I will still not get an A. You need to see yourself. You need to have confidence in yourself. One thing we used to, when I was in school, one thing we used to play about is the fact that, oh, they will ask you that, have you read for this exam? We'll say, oh, I don't know how we used to say it, but we'll say something about 1% preparation, 99% confidence. It doesn't mean we've not prepared, but 99% confidence means that we are confident that even though we prepared well, but even though we might feel like we did not prepare well, we'll still go into that exam with confidence that we're going to pass and get an A. So you have to have a mindset for success, because mindset makes the difference. You should not have self-limiting beliefs. Most people, I will send them opportunities and they'll just be like, oh, for me, I don't think I can apply. I don't think they will choose me. But apply for that opportunity. Let them reject you. Your head will become correct, because when they reject you, you will feel bad about it, and because you feel bad about it, you want to do something to change. You will learn from it. So don't be scared to fail. When you fail, you will learn from it. When you apply for jobs, I've applied for so many jobs that have also been rejected. But when you are rejected, when you see that rejection email, you feel bad. But you also understand that you are not there yet. It makes you understand that you are not there yet. You don't have what they are looking for yet. So you have to keep building yourself and developing yourself for that opportunity. And number three habits for success is sacrifices. You have to be able to make this. How much are you willing to sacrifice for success? The time you're going to go on social media, scroll Instagram, scroll TikTok, and all of that, that time can be channeled to other things that you badly want. And that's why I said the first thing is desire. How badly do you want it? If you want it badly, you'll be able to sacrifice social media for it. If you want it badly, you'll be able to sacrifice your sleep for it. The world is full of distractions. And if you choose short-term pleasures over long-term goals, you will never reach your potential. And this it extends beyond even academics. It extends to your personal life, to your financial life. If you keep choosing first short-term pleasures over long-term goals, you will never reach your potential. Some of us have money. Some of us are buying food in school. But if they ask you that, oh, why are you not doing this program? You say, oh, the program requires money. They're asking me to pay 50,000, or they're asking me to pay 100,000. But that's food you are buying in school, and that food you are buying instead of cooking. Those things are adding up. If you were saving those money, maybe you would have been able to afford the program. But because of short-term pleasure, oh, I want to buy food. I don't want to cook today. If you badly want success, if you badly want that program, you would suffer yourself by cooking. Suffer yourself by even going hungry sometimes to be able to save for that thing. Prioritize the hard work now, or you regret later. Then I think I'm going to just run through this very fast. University scholarships, as a student, you should know that there are scholarships in school that you can apply for. And what do you need to apply for them? You need high academic performance. You need to participate in extracurricular, seek scholarships. I'm sure probably leaders of this program will share the slide with you. There are also internships, like you can work while you're in school. The opportunity for you to intern, for you to do something, to practice what you're learning. So if you should have the opportunity to do that. And it does not, you don't have to wait till your school in industrial training or something, the IT that you people we usually do in school. So find ways to enhance your resume. Reach out to people on LinkedIn. If there's a job you feel like, oh, or you just want to learn from the person, reach out to people on LinkedIn. You don't have to be scared about the fact that this person is going to say, oh no. Most people won't even say no when you reach out to them about things like this. They'll say yes to you. So reach out to people on LinkedIn, maybe somebody that studied psychology and is now working in a particular place, and you just want to learn about what the person is doing, how you can prepare yourself as also a psychology student or something like that. Reach out to people and they will guide you on opportunities to look out for and all of those things. Also, one thing I like about finance is you can work remotely. You might not be able to work remotely as a medical doctor or as a medical student, but as a finance manager, work remotely. Reach out to people on LinkedIn, reach out to asset management firms, investment firms, reach out to them and say, oh, they might not be in the location you are. If you're in Lagos, it's much more easier, but they might not be in the location you are, but ask them and tell them, oh, you would love to learn more about finance and you don't mind working for them remotely. And that way, you're able to secure an internship. There are also grad school opportunities that when you graduate, you should also further your knowledge, probably by going for a master's program, an MBA program, or a PhD program. In fact, you can go for a PhD program right after bachelor's. Like you don't have to do a master's before going for a PhD. There's something called direct PhD program, which is like about a five-year program. You can go directly from undergrad. I know so many people that finished from school, bachelor's, and then they've gone on to doing their PhDs. And what do you need to stand out? Good grades is very, very important because you're going from one school to another school. The first thing they want to look at is not even your job experience or your technical skills, is how you did in the previous school you were. So I'll let them share this slide with you so that you can read more because my time is fast spent. Then I've said a lot of things. Oh, do more, try to achieve more, but I should also recognize the fact that there are challenges to unlocking opportunities. And one of the challenges is time management and prioritization. Some of us don't know how to manage our time. Some of us don't know how to prioritize. And one thing I'm going to say is there's always time, in the sense that if you truly want something, you make out time for it. One thing you should do if you feel like you don't have time for something is if you want that thing badly, then you should sit down and check your schedule and see what you can remove to make space for that particular thing you want to do. So if you check your schedule and you feel like, actually, I only used to have 2 classes in a day, and these classes are like 2 hours, meaning total it's 4 hours. So why do I say I don't have time? Because 4 hours in a day you still have 20 hours. So what are you using those 20 hours for? Maybe you're spending it visiting your friends and having chats that are not so value adding. Maybe you're spending it going on social media or watching movies. Those things are things that you can remove and delete and make space for what you want to actually achieve. Another key thing is limited resources. Money can stop you from applying for or achieving success, and that is not even debatable. I heard data is now expensive in Nigeria, and um, you might even want to learn something on YouTube, but you don't have the data. You don't have data. So how then do you learn? So I recognize the fact that limited resources, financial resources, might also be one of the top thing that will hinder us from achieving success. But one thing I would say is, if you badly want that thing, you would do your possible best to achieve it. Now, let me give you another backstory. Before I got into school, in fact, I when I did my first jam, I had a good score, but I could not get into Unilag. So I had to stay back 1 year. And having to stay back 1 year, I'm trying to be very fast. Having to stay back 1 year is something that I wasn't proud of, right? But I knew that I cannot just stay back 1 year without doing something that I'll be proud of. So that was when I started my ATS program you do before you do the actual ICANN program. But then I did not come from a rich family. There was no money. And what I did was I started to do home lessons. So I started to teach secondary school students, and then I will save up that money. And that was the money I used. Like, I was able to save up in about 2 months, and that was the money I used to actually pay for the program. So even with limited financial resources, if you badly want something, you still go out of your way to achieve it. One of my friends, he mentioned the fact that, oh, he used to post like content on social media, like on Facebook then, like back then, Facebook. And it was somebody on Facebook, because he was posting educational content and he was just speaking to this person one day, and he mentioned the fact that he doesn't have a laptop. It was that person that bought him his first laptop. The fact that he has limited financial resources. So people might not be able to give you money to buy food, to buy clothes, to buy shawarma, to buy wigs. But if they see that you have the zeal, they will not hesitate to support you with something educational. So another thing is lack of information, and that's why sessions like this are good, because you get to learn more. That is also why you should go online to search about things. Because if you don't know, you can't even apply for it. If you don't know, you can't even try to achieve it. So the first thing is for you to even know. And then number 4 is lack of confidence and fear of rejection. And one thing I mentioned is failure should be a stepping stone. Don't hesitate to fail. When you fail, you understand that there's a gap between what you want to be and where you are currently. So, and because you now understand and because you now see that gap, you'll be able to try as much as possible to achieve it. And the 5th thing is apply often. Just apply for opportunities. You might feel like you're not eligible for them, but just still apply for them. And I'm just going to end this session by saying good luck on your journey. Thank you. That'll be all for now. It's been a long session, and I hope you guys were following.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very, very much. It was really, really insightful. And even though we could hardly, your screen stopped moving from the first slide, but it was too interactive to even, cut you short. But don't
You should
worry.
have told me.
Yes, we kept saying it in the chat. I didn't want to turn on the
Oh no, I wasn't
microphone.
saying the chat because I was sharing my screen. Oh my god.
Yes, yes, ma'am. But it's okay. The slides will be shared later on. What we need
Okay.
more was more of your speech than the screen
But you
itself.
should have actually told me, honestly. Like, oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. So, ma'am, we'll be going on to the next agenda for the meeting. It's the question and answer session. So, I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions. So, please, if you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. Scholar Abdulalim, please go ahead. Hello, Scholar Abdulalim. You raised your hand. Do you have a question?
I think he typed it in the chat box already.
All right, ma'am. Please go ahead.
So his question is, what are some of the underrated opportunities for students outside of the classroom that can significantly impact their careers? I think I mentioned some of them already. Extracurricular activities, like what is even going on within your school, whether joining a student society, whether coming to sessions like this, whether trying to even contest for a position in your school, like holding a leadership position. Those things are very, very underrated, but they are things that actually help you in preparing you for your career. It is not until you get like a formal job or an internship. You can even start from as small as holding a leadership position in your class, holding the leadership position in the student society. Those opportunities are underrated, but it prepares you in a way. It gives you soft skills. You get communication skills. You get to interact with people along the line, and because of that, it helps you to develop your confidence. So that is one of the underrated opportunities. But some other opportunities are you doing the big things like doing an internship, getting a scholarship, doing professional courses that will just give you much more knowledge about what you're doing in your field. So I would answer that. I think there's another question. How do you think students can balance academic responsibilities with outside opportunities? I also spoke about that a bit. I spoke about the fact that, of course, it is not easy to try to excel in school and also do other things by the side. But how badly do you want it? If you want it badly, then you will go out of your way to achieve it. In the sense that if you want it badly, you make sacrifices. There were times, like I'm currently also preparing for an exam. My exam is in May. My CFA, my next CFA exam is in May. I am working. In fact, I go to work 7. I come back around 7. So, but I still have to come back and read. I still have to come back and cook and married. So you just have to try to balance it. How badly do you want it? If you want it badly, you make out sacrifices and you try to balance it. You mentioned something about learning from people on LinkedIn. Can you share more light on how to go about it? Yes. So if Fatima and the team they did not bring me to this session, of course, you guys probably might have come across my post on LinkedIn, or you might have come across my profile. There's nothing that stops you from reaching out to say, oh, I saw that you're working in the World Bank. I'm a finance student. I don't even know what to ask you, but I just want you to speak to me. Do you think I'll say no to that? Of course, I might not have time at that point, but I'll definitely give you a time. I'll definitely tell you, oh, let's have a call next month. Let's call next week. Because I've also been in that position and I know what it means for people to have guidance. So if you're on LinkedIn, there are people that are on LinkedIn that post a lot, that post educative content. There are people that you want to be like. There are people that you want to learn from. Enter their DM. Reach out to them and tell them, be honest and tell them the fact that, oh, you would love to learn about this and this from them. And they will definitely not hesitate to have a call with you or have a session with you. So don't hesitate to reach out to people on LinkedIn. And I also mentioned something about going through people's profiles on LinkedIn. It's still what I used to do. There are people that probably are managers now at the World Bank, or they are managers at WTO, that's the World Trade Organization, or ECOWAS and all of that. And because I want to work in the development space, I want to learn about their journey. I know that I cannot speak to each and every one of them. So I go through their profile and see, oh, how did this person's journey go? Oh, this person went from course to doing this, then he joined this, the person joined this organization. I feel like, oh, I need to have that kind of profile also. Or this person has worked with in development space, for example, they are like development institutions like IMF, IFC, African Development Bank. And if you're seeing somebody's profile, I'm seeing somebody's profile, and this person has worked with IMF, this person has worked with IFC, this person has worked with ADB, and now this person is now the president of the World Bank. I know that means you working with several development institutions is one of the things that helps you to get to that position. So you're just going through people's profile. It will give you insight on how their journey was. You can tailor your own journey. People are typing their question in the chat box. I don't know if anybody wants to on their microphone to speak. Please do. And if you want me to continue to answer the questions just by reading them in the chat box, I don't also mind. Isiaka, your hand is raised. Please go on.
Good afternoon, ma. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. I'm very blessed and honored to be part of this particular program because I'm more benefit from this as an accounting student, giving us the clues on this particular opportunity that we can apply for. Ma, I want to ask concerning about you studying finance and someone that is studying accounting. We know that ICANN is there as a professional courses. If someone wants to dive into finance, as you said, what qualification can that someone can just go for? You know, we have ICANN and some other professional courses. Please help us to share more light on this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you for answering that question. I'm glad you are an accounting student. I wanted to say something about that. The first thing I'm going to say is not able to answer your question, is what I wanted to say. And that's the fact that I know a friend that actually just came to the US and is trying to search for a job. He has many rejections, and recently got an organization. He wasn't selected because he's an accounting student. And the profile they are looking for is finance, is finance, economics, and all of that. So what am I trying to say is the fact that regardless of the course you're studying, also understand the limitations, the cost, the disadvantage you have. As much as you know the advantage of you studying it, also know the disadvantage of you studying. I don't know what course I would say, but maybe you studied, let's say you studied a course, maybe psychology. You know, psychology is not, or philosophy or something like that. It's not something we are very used to in Nigeria. It doesn't mean it's not a good course, but in Nigeria, it's not something that, even if you come to me, I don't think I know so much about the opportunities in psychology. Do you get? So that means if I don't know so many opportunities in psychology or philosophy, that means a lot of people also in Nigeria, they don't also know. And because of that, the opportunities you have in Nigeria might be limited for you to practice that particular profession. And that's the same thing that's happening to him here. There are so many limitations of him studying accounting. In fact, there are people that study finance would be accepted for an accounting role, but people that study accounting will not be accepted for a finance role. That means you studying a particular course has an advantage over studying another course. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, in the sense that if you're applying for an accounting role, a finance person can be considered for an accounting role. But when you're applying for a finance role, an accounting person might not be considered for a finance role. So that means finance is more broad and more acceptable. And I appreciate the fact that you're preparing yourself towards a career in finance. You're trying to drift from accounting. So of course, you're already studying accounting, but you can do so many things to edge that risk of you not being considered for some other roles you might be interested in. And you can edge it by doing courses. The CFA is one of the courses, CFA Investment Foundation, the CFA, the actual CFA course. If you have those things, even though you had studied accounting or you had studied a course that maybe is limiting, the fact that you've done those professional courses in a course that gives you much more opportunities will help you. Even me as a finance person, I'm doing the CFA already. I have ICANN, so I have accounting background. I'm trying to be all around. I have accounting background, I have ICANN, I'm a chartered accountant. I studied finance. I'm doing the CFA, which is finance. But going to grad school, I'm looking at another thing like economics. Because I understand that if I want to get into some spaces, they'll probably, I want a profile that will match any space I'm going. In the sense that if I'm applying to a space where they require economics, they see me that I've done a master's in economics. If I'm applying to a space where they require finance, they see me that, oh, this person is actually a finance person because she has a bachelor's in finance and she has done professional courses in finance. And if they want an accountant, I'm a chartered accountant. So I don't know if I've answered your question, Isiaka.
Yes, ma. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Please, any questions? I'm happy to take it. So I'm seeing somebody asking, I'm a veterinary student. What are the opportunities there for me and what are the extracurricular activities? Now, this is one thing I was speaking about in the sense that you might be studying a very good course, but in Nigeria, it is limiting. Because most of what, one thing I've seen coming here to the US is how people treat pets like their own kids. If their pet is sick, they are running to the vet. They are taking the pet to the vet. But in Nigeria, if your pet is sick, we will leave it to die. So if you study veterinary, you might not even get a job because we don't even value people that study veterinary in Nigeria. We don't value our pets. If our pet is sick, we'll leave it to die. Most of, maybe like 80% of Nigerians. Region where pets are cherished. In the US, in fact, if you beat somebody's pet, they can arrest you for it. But in Nigeria, you can kill somebody's pet and you will even fight the person. You'll be the one to fight the person will not even fight you. So you want to understand the fact that because you're studying, there's limitation in Nigeria. So what you can do is probably find other interests. Maybe you want to start your own business. Maybe you want to of course, there are opportunities for vets in Nigeria. I'm not trying to say, but they are very, very limited. So you want to find like get into those spaces, or you want to start your own initiative. You can be the one to start something that will start cherishing pets in Nigeria, or you want to change your interests and pursue another thing, or you want to come to space like this where people actually cherish people that study vets because they have pets. And when their pet are sick, they will not hesitate to take the pet to the vet. So please go on. I think we have more hands raised. Moshood, I can't hear. I can't hear you, Moshood. Fatima, can you hear?
Yes, ma'am. He's
If you can, please.
talking about an important question that is in the comment section. Someone was talking about an imposter syndrome. Scholar Sebio Tomo Abdulatif.
Yeah, of course, imposter syndrome. So most times, like even me, I mentioned that it was part of the challenge I faced. To even ask questions in class as an 100 level student, even when I was in 200 level, was difficult. Like to ask questions, raise up my hand, everybody looks at me, and then you're like, what is special about what I want to say? But I think one thing is just do it. Just take a chance and just do it. Challenge yourself to ask questions. Challenge yourself to speak. Because at the end of the day, it's not something, it's not value adding, or it's not. It's just you having just your head playing with you. So you just do it. I read a book that is that was very, very good. It's just 40 pages. I'm typing it in the chat box right now. Who moved my cheese? I'm trying to remember which one also I read for. I read to improve on my self-confidence. But you get to see that even most people that talk in public, you are better than them. It's not you comparing yourself to people, but you after they say what they want to say, or maybe when somebody asks question in class, you now feel like I also want to ask that question. No. Or when the lecturer asks a question in class and somebody responds, you realize that you even have better response than that person that responded. So at the end of the day, it's just you having self-limiting beliefs and thinking what you want to say doesn't matter, or people will laugh at you. But people want to actually hear you speak. So I think just you having it at the back of your mind that you recognizing that it is a self-limiting belief and you just trying to challenge yourself through it is what will help you. And one thing is you don't get very good at public speaking once. You have to try it over and over and over again. And before you know it, you get comfortable. So me, I don't hesitate to speak, even if I feel like entering the ground, I will still speak, and you will just realize that at the end of the day, at the end of your session, people will come to you and say, "Oh, you were very bold," but inside of you, you know that you were about sinking to the ground. You were not actually bold. So just do it. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much once again, ma'am, for agreeing to not only come here, but to delivering in all glory. Thank you very much. And to everyone that attended, thank you very, very much. And before I give a recap of what she said, a lot of people in the comment section are asking about the courses that they studied and what opportunities are for them. One of the things she talked about was actually taking ownership of your own journey. You should sit down and search these things on yourself. Someone studied physics and he's asking what opportunities are out there for him. She did not study physics, so how is she expected to know? So that is your own assignment to do. You should go online, research what opportunities are there for physics students, and then think of which one aligns best with your interest, or what the world is inclined towards. So I'll be giving a short recap of all that she said. And for some of you that joined late, she asked us a question. She said there are two people. One person has a first class and the second one has a 2-1, but has a lot of skills. So which person would you want to be? And all of us went for person B. So that right there, that was a reminder that we were limiting ourselves. We were not exploring our potentials. So she reminded us about something. You should always try to think outside the box. She gave us 2 options, but yes, we could have added another one. We should try and be innovative and always seek for better opportunities. It is not fair to have a 2-1 when you can have a better, and it is not fair to yourself to have a first class when you can actually be well-rounded. Is that what TSF is all about? Being well-rounded, not only academically, but also outside the classroom. And I will reiterate this again: self-learning. You should own your own journey. No one should teach you how to make research, whether it is for your academics or for your experiences beyond the classroom. Remember that comfort is your enemy and that there is no time. If you want to do something, you actually have to sit down and create time. Arrange your activities in order of priority. Don't waste time on doing things that can wait or are not even necessary, right? For example, watching a series movie, it's about 9 series and each series is over 50 episodes. That is way too much time, you understand? So, and She's school na scam. She asked us that question, and remember that academic excellence is very important. And if you don't think so, then you should get ready to settle for the okay opportunities and not the best ones. You cannot afford to be mediocre or basic or even just average. You need to be exceptional and extraordinary. And in order for you to be in big places, you need to desire success badly and work towards achieving your success. You should have a mindset for success. You should never disqualify yourself. you should apply for that opportunity that you think you're not eligible for. They might look at other criteria. Maybe you don't have the skill set yet, but your first class degree or your 2-1 is is a promising indicator that you are teachable, like you said, and you should be willing to make sacrifices. For example, all of us are here when we could be sleeping, when some of the boys could be playing football or the girls could be watching, but we are making sacrifices, right? And we are prioritizing long-term enjoyment instead of, enjoying now and suffering long-term. And then you should always find ways to enhance your resume. You could do internships. Now the world is becoming a global village. You can have your internships remotely, and they are more than enough. So you should have internships. You should reach out to people who are ahead of you in the fields that you desire. It could be on LinkedIn or any other social media platform. It could even be physically. It could be a lecturer. It could be a senior in school. It could be anyone. And then she talked about, lastly, overcoming the challenges needed to become a 360 undergraduate student, right? So remember that you will meet these challenges, but where there is a will, people like to say that there will be a way. But me, I like to paraphrase it. Where there is a will, you will make sure that you make way for yourself, right? So all you need at the start is the will, and then your path will become clearer along the line. So thank you everyone for being here, and thank you for being from the beginning of the session to the end of the session. And we hope to see more and more of these sessions and how you become well-rounded individuals. We look forward to your success stories. Thank you very much.